So what's his name?
You already know his name.
Whether you sell me this club or your heirs will.
I can't be a spy for you.
Have I given you the impression that any of this is optional?
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Mark Dark, and I'm back with another video. If you're new, if you love Your Honor, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Like the video and leave your theories, comments, everything down below. Now today, we'll be talking about Your Honor Season 2, Episode 3. This is the recap. Now I'm going to try my best to focus on all the key points in this episode. If I miss anything, you guys let me know down below. And man, this episode, we saw Jimmy and Michael finally have a scene together, and it was very intense to see them downstairs talking at the bar, and then for Michael to go back upstairs, have a conversation with Fia, and then we see Jimmy come in and they both look over their grandson. It's crazy, man, on how this whole story is developing. I cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. Now let's go over the description of the episode. The title of the episode is called Part 13. The description of the episode reads, Michael Desiato resists a request from Fia, but Olivia Del Monte pushes him to exploit a newfound connection. Little Mo's deal goes sour, leaving Eugene to pick up the pieces. A face-off between Michael and Jimmy results in a startling confession. So it was a crazy episode just to see that scene with them together. We know Little Mo, he done screwed up, y'all. He done screwed up, and now it ain't looking too good for him. We know he got arrested, and the plug that he was supposed to be meeting up with, Roderick, that guy's going to be pissed off. And Trey, he's going to be even more in danger seeing that Little Mo had to, get out that deal. But it's not his fault. It was Big Mo's fault. She said stop the deal because she needed the money to buy that club, because we know Richard got a better offer from your girl Gina. So that messed everything up. Now, if y'all was in Little Mo's shoes, would y'all have told Big Mo that you already made the deal? I mean, because all you're doing is putting yourself at risk either way it goes. This guy, Roderick, is going to cause some issues for them down the line. And it seems like the Desire crew and the Baxter family are their worst own enemies, right? I mean, we thought we was going to be getting back and forth between, the Desire crew and the Baxter family, but it seems like each organization, they're battling their own demons. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this story plays out by the end of the season. But let's begin the recap. As I told you guys, I'm going to try to focus on all the key points. If I miss anything, you guys let me know. Now, the episode begins with Michael, and he just left from talking to Fia, finding out that he has a grandson. And of course, he's all in his head. He's pissed off. Olivia calls him and says, "Hi, Grandpa." And I know he was upset because it's quite obvious she already knew about this. She even asked him what was the baby's name. He's like, "You already know. Like, what do you want from me?" And she tells him, look, of course she needs him to help her catch the Baxter family along with others, but she says, "I just need you to love that baby." But catching the Baxter family is probably something that she wants even more, just based off what we've been seeing. Now, we get to Jimmy and Carlo, I guess he doesn't really understand business or generational wealth. I mean, the guy, he says he just want to come back when everything is built. Jimmy is trying to tell him we built everything from ground up, and he wants to continue to build this with him. I mean, come on, Carlo. I mean, I can understand Carlo's being locked up. His mindset is completely different. We know Jimmy bid it for this land, and he's hoping to build, but we know Charlie is going to have some different things to say. But Jimmy did mention how he wants everybody that comes into town to know the Baxter name, but we shall see. Then we get to Little Mo. He's looking over the papers about the new property that Big Mo is supposed to be getting, but it seems like he doesn't want her to know he's looking over her paperwork, right? And she tells him, like, look, I already gave you a warning and a chance last time. You slipped up with Eugene, and I can't really afford you to be slipping up again. We know he needs to get this money to go buy this product from the guy Roderick, but this is all before she learns the news about Gina going in, making a move on Richard and giving him a better deal. But I had a feeling this was not going to go well when she gave him that money. You can just tell something was bound to happen. Then we get to Eugene. He has a locker full of new comic book pictures, and the principal, she goes past and she's asking him, what is the guy's name in the picture? He says Kofi. I mean, as I told you guys in the last episode, this dude Eugene, he gonna tell himself through these pictures, in my opinion. But once he says Kofi, somebody slams the locker, and it's almost like he got PTSD. I mean, the dude was flabbergasted. He couldn't say anything. Then we get to your girl Gina, and she is wanting Fia to have her child baptized, and Fia's like, I don't really know about that. This is something that Gina wants, and she's like, look, he is named after your brother. We got to make sure that they can see each other once, his life is over. But y'all know how Fia is. She don't like her moms like that, and she don't really believe in all that religion stuff. So, of course, she's not really thinking about doing it. On top of that, I mean, Gina just slapped the taste out of her mouth in the last episode. I know she apologized, but still, ain't no way you slapping me and I'm gonna do what you want me to do. It ain't happening. Then we get to Aunt Sheila. We know Little Mo and Trey, they go there because they're going to pick Eugene up and they have to make that deal with Roderick. She does ask him about Big Mo and he tells her she's about to buy a club, and she does mention, oh, okay, so she's trying to have everybody forget that she's a drug dealer, and it seems like it is some type of tension between Big Mo and her sister Sheila. And from my understanding, Trey is her son because when he walked in, he said, "Hi, Ma." We know Trey and Little Mo was cousins based off the last episode, so they're all family. But your boy Eugene, look at him. I mean, this dude was looking shook. Like, dude, didn't nobody say anything to you? You just look like somebody scared the hell out of you. Now, Michael, he goes and he meets up with Fia, and she's talking about how her mother wants her grandson to get a baptism. And Michael's like, what do you want to do? Because we know Fia, she does not agree with that, right? She doesn't really believe in religion, as we stated earlier. And as they're having a conversation, your boy Carlo decides to ruin the party. And he was talking about, well, we were just two ex-cons having a conversation. He wants to know, does Dad know about this? I mean, he's all in Michael's business, right? In Fia's. Now, Michael and Carlo, they talk, they have a conversation, and we know Carlo was telling him just stay away. Like, Fia doesn't need him. He's a bum that just got out of prison. And of course, Michael's like, dude, like, to be honest, we know you a bum anyway, and you just got out your damn self. So why are you even running your mouth? And of course, Carlo mentions that he was young and he served his time. It was self-defense for what he did to Kofi. We know Michael was talking about karma and that Eugene tried to kill him, but we know he missed. So Carlo thought it was cool to say that, like, well, he didn't hit me. We know he ended up killing Adam. And as Carlo walks away, we know Michael tells him, does he know about Harry the Hook from Chicago? And he tells him, he reminds him of Harry the Hook. And I Googled that as soon as Michael said it. I'm like, man, I got to find out who this dude was. We know he was a mobster in Chicago. Carlo did reveal more details about him, and it was the truth, which to me was a threat towards your boy Carlo, because we know if it goes down just like how it went down with Harry the Hook, that means your boy Carlo can be retried once again for the same crime. Double jeopardy does not mean anything because they got to the judge. We talking about Judge Desiato. So I cannot wait to see how this whole story is going to end. Now, Jimmy and Gina, they go to Charlie. They're trying to see if he's going to be cool like the old mayor was and allowed him to pretty much do exactly what they want to do. They had that land that they bidded for, accounted for, it was good. But your boy Charlie is like, hell nah, we're going to reopen the bidding for it, give people in the community to have a chance to get that land because it's just not fair. He's not here to make sure the rich get richer. It's just something that he's not about to do. Of course, Gina, she's like, look, name your price. Let's cut to it. She ain't got time for all that. And she tells him like, look, it's whether you going to make a deal with us or something bad may happen. I mean, she was kind of like trying to throw out some low-key threats. We know Jimmy, he was trying to keep his composure and calm her down and just, speak to him and try to work things out. But we know Gina, she has her own agenda on what she wants to do. But Charlie, he ain't going for it. He's like, nope, I ain't doing it at all. We know they was pissed off, or at least Gina was, because Little Mo got that property. And we know Charlie was the one that helped her out. And Charlie's already expecting the Baxters to try to scare him eventually. Now, Olivia, she meets up with Michael once again, and she's telling him, like, look, why are you not trying to help me? Like, you're not seeing what the Baxters are capable of? Like, what is the reason behind this? She really needs his help because she wants to take them down, and she believes this can lead to a big bust from everybody. Now we get to Gina and Jimmy, and we know Gina wants Big Mo not to get that property across the street from their hotel. She's pissed off. She's telling him he cannot even make a deal with the mayor. No one really respects him like that. His name means nothing. And if she still had her old last name, which is Conti, it would be a different outcome. And she states that maybe the mayor needs a shakedown. Jimmy, he can't hold it in, man. He grabs her up, takes her back upstairs. He's pissed off. He is trying to calm her down. He tells her he can get Frankie to handle the Big Mo situation. And we know Gina, she is trying to leave, but Jimmy ain't letting her do it, y'all. He grabbed her up, and I didn't know if he was trying to clap those cheeks or what the hell was going on. She even told him, you trying to get up in this? And she said, you know what? How about you just have Frankie take care of that as well? And man, that hurt it. That hurt it. I know Jimmy had to feel some type of way about that. You can see how pissed off he was. This is the real Jimmy Baxter, the one from back in the day that raised hell. And if Gina keep talking to him crazy, I would not be surprised if he tries to take her out by the end of the season. And I cannot wait until Gina's father comes into town because that's going to make the storyline even more interesting because he goes off of the old family principles, and I already know Jimmy will have a problem with that. Then we get to Charlie and Michael. They're having a conversation. Charlie does tell him about the Baxters and them, wanting that land. He does tell Michael when they had their original bid that the other person that was a part of the bid, he disappeared, I believe, like a day before the actual bidding went into place, and he was never to be found. So that lets me know the Baxter family did something, and of course, Charlie is just wondering, like, okay, I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to scare me. Is it anything else that you're not telling me? Is it anything they can use to, threaten me or scare me? And Michael says, look, I'll do anything to protect you. He does not tell Charlie that he's working with Olivia Delmont and that if he does not complete this mission, it can be all over for him and, of course, Charlie's political career. Then we get to your boy Richard. Richard has told Big Mo that Gina Baxter has gave him a better deal, I guess an extra 10%, and she says something like, it's good for your long-term health if you do this or whatever. Of course, Big Mo is pissed off about it. She's like, look, we already agreed on the deal. Like, what are you talking about? And we know they end up making a verbal agreement on her matching Gina's 10%. And it looks like Richard is screwed either way, because if he doesn't make a deal with Big Mo, he's screwed. And if he doesn't make a deal with Gina, he's screwed. So this dude probably gonna lose his life by the end of the season. But we know Gina told him she would pay him in cash. But now Big Mo is going to have to match that and pay him in cash as well, plus that extra 10%. So now she's going to need that money that she gave Little Mo. Now, Little Mo and Trey, they go into this restaurant, and then we see Eugene. He has to sit in the car and watch the money. And Big Mo gives Little Mo a call, and she's asking him, did he make the deal yet? And this is where I asked you guys, if you was in Little Mo's shoes, what would you have done? Because if you don't make this deal with this guy, it's all hell for you. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, Little Mo already gave him a warning earlier on in the episode telling him this is his last chance. So he does not want to risk that at all. But of course, his cousin Trey, he's like, look, you can't just pull out right now. Like, I made that deal with you. I contacted this dude and you won't pull out? Oh, hell nah. I'm pretty much screwed, which is very understandable. All of a sudden, they start getting into a fight. Little Mo done threw this dude into the window. All of a sudden, the boys, they heard all of the commotion and they come over there, break it up, and then they arrest Trey and Little Mo. So everything's looking real bad for the both of them. Eugene, he said, you know what? I got to get this money and I got to get the hell up out of here. I mean, it's just crazy on how everything is playing out within this whole storyline. Now we get to Jimmy and Carlo. Carlo is telling him about Harry the Hook and does he know anything about him? Of course, Jimmy says no. And this is where Carlo pulls out the information about Harry the Hook and talks about how this guy got tried twice for the same crime and how he ended up getting found guilty later on. And Double Jeopardy didn't mean anything because they found out that the judge was gotten to by somebody. And we know Jimmy definitely got to Michael Desiato. So Carlo, he ended up showing him who told him, which we know is Michael, on the camera. And then Jimmy decided to go downstairs and have a man-to-man conversation with Michael. He poured both of them drinks, and Michael tells him the truth about what happened to Adam the day that he hit Rocco, and he tells him he was going to have Adam turn himself in. They drove to the police station, but when he saw Jimmy, he was like, hell nah, because he believed that Jimmy was going to kill his son, and he just wanted to know what would Jimmy have done if Adam would have just turned himself in. And of course, Jimmy is talking about how, well, he was a teenager. He was in fear. I usually go at people that come from my family, but I would have let it be. We know Jimmy is lying. And even if Jimmy wouldn't have done anything, we know Gina would have definitely did something to your boy Adam. So he was screwed either way it goes. Jimmy talking about you just want to feel good about getting your son up out of that. Like, are you crazy? Michael was right. And Jimmy just wanted Michael to feel guilty about his decision, talking about if you would never have done that, Adam would still be here. Like, really? We know what time it is. And as Jimmy and Frankie walk away, Frankie's like, look, so what would you have done? And Jimmy tells him he would have took Adam out with his bare hands. So it reveals that Jimmy was just lying and he wanted to get back at Michael. Your boy Jimmy was on one. Then we get back to Olivia Delmont. And she's having a conversation with Nancy, and she's telling her, like, look, I need you to help me, get Michael to be on board with all of this. And of course, we know Nancy feels some type of way about this because she ain't really trying to be a part of any of it. And she seems confused because of Olivia's request. Then we get to your boy Eugene. He has made it back home and he opens up the bag. He sees that there's a lot of money in that bag. And then, of course, he sees Big Mo's call. And then he starts to freak out. I mean, he didn't really know what to do. I got a feeling Aunt Sheila may help him out with this because it ain't looking too good for him. Then we get to the end of the episode. Fia and Michael are having a conversation. And Michael tells her that Adam got baptized and, you know, his mother wanted it to happen. Whereas Michael, he wasn't really agreeing with it, but he just wanted to be right, and he did mention how he wished he would have gave in more. Now, Fia does ask Michael, does he want to hold his grandson? Michael, you know, he kind of shied it off like, I don't really know about that. She goes to the bathroom, and then Michael hears the baby cry, and he walks up to the baby. He's looking at him, and then all of a sudden, Jimmy Baxter walks into the room. And for a moment, I thought it was Fia coming out the bathroom, but it was Jimmy the whole time. And they stared at each other for a little bit, and then they stared at the baby. So they got love for their grandson. And it's just crazy on how this whole story has developed. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. But this last scene, you can feel the tension in the air. I mean, really, the grandson is named Rocco Adam Baxter. So you got a mixture of the Baxter family and, of course, Adam and the Desiato family. When it's all said and done, that baby may be screwed up. Messing around with the Baxter family and dealing with all the trauma from Michael and what he's been through. I just do not see this ending well. And on top of that, we already know when and if Fia finds out the truth about what really happened to Rocco, everything's going to change. The whole story is going to flip. And hopefully we get to see it by the end of the season. But I want to thank you guys once again for all the love, all the support, and I will catch y'all on the next one. But let me get up on out of here, man. It's your boy Mark Dark. I'm out. Peace.